All right, everybody. Welcome to the very first Bullpen podcast. Today we got a real treat for everybody. Someone who I consider one of the most talented people I've ever met. Is married to my sister, unfortunately. No. Jacob Domrique. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, bro.
All right, brother. Well, let's dive in. First and foremost, man, what's your story, man? Tell us.
My story. Okay. Well, my story's kind of short. I'm like 24 years old, so haven't done too much, but I feel like I have done a lot in my life. And I was born and raised in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So
there's nothing there.
Yeah, nothing out there. Yeah, born and raised in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Lived there my entire life. Grew up LDS, of course, and went on a mission to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, for 2 years.
So there's a lot we could talk about there, right?
Yeah. We can go into that a little bit later.
We go deep into that.
But then, after my mission, came home and, went to college, BYU, Idaho. Growing up, even just before, adult life and high school and everything, I've always kind of been, geared toward, I want to be successful. I want to have nicer things in life. My mom, she worked 2 jobs as a nurse, and she was always working like night shifts and also like throughout the day. So I really got to really see her growing up. And my dad was military, so he was always gone as well. So, kind of was born being raised by like my aunt, my grandma, and just hanging out with my sisters. So just kind of seeing that and living that lifestyle has always just kind of been I hope there's something more to this, after, what can I do to change my life and be better? So I was, I really have a really good relationship with my mom, so I'd always ask her, like, what should I do with my life, now that I'm getting older and going to start doing things like going to college, getting a career. She was always telling me, well, you got to be a doctor. Like, doctors make money, right? So I was like, yeah, like, I see that, because, like, people growing up.
Wait, you went to college to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Was that what you were? I didn't know that. I thought you were doing, like, finance and stuff.
No. Originally, I went to school because I was going to be a rich doctor.
A rich-ass doctor.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, like, that was my motive, really, in just, going to college. Was growing up, I would go and, my mom was a nurse, like I said, I would go shadow her boss. I even interned at the hospital I would help people when they had like their knee surgery and hip surgery, like my senior year of high school. Like, so like for a block out of my day for 2 hours, I would go and do that after school. Just 'cause like I have to get the hours like shadowing, nurses and doctors and stuff, so I could get, accepted into college and then eventually, med school. But I never really had that passion for it, even in high school. I was kind of just doing it for the money, which really isn't like the best route to do anything for. Because then you're just not motivated enough to really go through with it. And schooling for like med school and biology classes and stuff, that's hard. Like, that's not easy stuff. And if you're not motivated and disciplined enough to do it, you're just going to fail the class. Like, it's so easy to just fail those classes. A lot of stuff goes into those. So, I was doing all that. I was changing between like, I'll be like a nurse, anesthetist, or I'll be a orthopedic surgeon or whatever I want to do. But I was just trying to see like what doctor gets the highest salary. I would just go and try and do that.
So you were in it basically just because you want to see who made the most money. Why? Because let's be honest. Like, your dad military, right? Your mom works as a nurse. We're gonna be straight here. That's not a lot of money. Dude, it's good amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? And especially for cost of living in a place like Broken Arrow, you live a really good life that way, right?
No, not really, actually. Like, so my dad really was military actually up until, like, he started, I guess I'll backtrack. He joined the Army when he was like 17, and he did that for a little bit, and then he worked in a call center doing IT. For a cable company called Cox Communications.
Cox.
Growing up, like, as a young child. Yeah. Growing up as a young child.
Next to Dick's.
Yeah, no, I wish. But no, growing up as like a young child, he was there with that Cox the whole time, right? I'll just say the cable company because I can't.
We're so mature.
Anyway, you know what? I actually found out recently. My mom told me how much he was earning. Wasn't salary. It was $10 an hour.
What?
Yeah.
And he was raising a family off $10 an hour?
Yeah. So I asked him, I was like, how did we even afford like the apartment and things like that? And he's like, honestly, like your mom just had to work, these crazy 50-hour, 60-hour weeks just for us to get by. And
your mom is an angel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a saint.
And we had our family fly in from Jamaica and everything, live with us, so my grandma, and so she would watch us while my parents worked. And that's the only way we could really make it. Just because,
so did you see your parents often?
Thinking back, yeah, it fluctuated. My mom would work nights for like a year or two, and then they'd switch her shift or whatever it was. But really just saw them like kind of in the evenings and stuff, maybe a little bit there, but nothing nothing too crazy.
Well, so you're growing up like that. Why were you so motivated that you wanted to make more money? Like you wanted straight up to make the most money possible, and the only thing you could think of, which a lot of college students, a lot of students in general, just across the board, everyone who wants to make more money, the first thing they think of is, I should get a career as a doctor, right? Because when you go do career day, they give you the list of all the careers. The top of the list is doctor.
Yeah,
they just don't tell you that salespeople make more than doctors all around the world, and it's cheaper.
Well, of course, I feel like everyone, growing up thinks like, salesman, like either that job's like too hard, or you have to be a good at communicating, which of course you do and everything, but also just the fact that like salesmen are sleazy and you don't want to do that, like it's not a
they
real
almost look
job.
Down on that whole
it's not
idea.
a real job.
Well, you know what, I think on that list that they would hand out to us for like entrepreneur, like what, like career paths, they would put like $50K a year as a salesman. That's what they'd say. I mean, sure, if you suck, right, if you're selling the wrong shit, but anyway, so you wanted to make more money, and your original thought process, which everybody thinks of, is what kind of doctor can I be? Surgeon? What kind of surgeon, right? Is that it?
Oh, yeah. I would be on YouTube all the time looking at, like, day in the life of a med student, or day in the life of a surgeon. I'm like, can I do this? Like, man, that looks pretty intense. Like, their residency in the med school, they're doing all this stuff all the time. Like, it looks like they have no life. These single kids, and they're, like, in their 30s, and they're still in school. And I was like, you know what? No, I just got to push through, because I guess it's the only way to make money. Yeah. That's what I was taught. It's like the only way you're gonna make money is if you become the best of the best, doctor. So like I would go, again going back, I would talk to people like my parents' friends who were doctors and stuff, and ask them like their salary and stuff, and they would tell me like, I only let you make like 150, or I only make like 160. I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like there's got to be more, and just doing more research. It really is just like the top 1% of doctors actually do make millions, and it's because they're running it as a business.
Exactly. That the number one thing people need to understand is this: big successful doctors that we see, the surgeons, dentists, they're not making money just because they're a surgeon or a dentist. They're making their money because they've established a brand. They run it as a business. They have people underneath them who I forget what you call it, where they're like basically a surgeon underneath you. So they have a team. They run it as a business, and that's how they make their money. Not just because they have a job, but because they run their own show.
So then here I am, 2 years into BYU, Idaho, doing biology, chemistry classes, and my generals, of course. Waste of time. And I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, this sucks. Like, I do not want to be doing this. Like, I'm just learning, like, math equations and this and that. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So I was just like, I got to switch my major, or I got to change something, right? So I go back, and I'm like, hey, Mom, like, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I never wanted to be. I just want to make money. Like, how do I make money? And she's like, well, you could always, like, go to school for business. I'm like, okay, I'll try that. So I just went and like did like business finance or whatever the degree is there, right? So then I start taking these business classes and economics and like algebra and stuff like that, and all it is just more math. That was it. I was just like, oh my gosh, like all I'm doing is just math problems. I'm on graphs doing all this stuff. I'm like, I never know when I'm going to apply this to real life.
What finance profession out there uses graphs? I mean, like charts and shit, besides like just plugging it in on a computer.
I don't even know, because like my CPA, when I go and talk to him, I see everything he's seeing on his screen, and there's no graphs there. It's just plug and play. The
Right.
system does. He says, okay, tell me this, your income, or what you want to, pay on taxes this year, whatever you want to do. He plugs it in, and the computer says, done. It's a calculator. I was like, well, teach me how to do the calculator. Work
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Don't teach me to do it by hand because this doesn't make any sense.
Bullshit.
So there I am again, another 2 years into BYU Idaho, switched my major, so I'm kind of set back a little bit. I should be graduated at this point, but I'm like, I have to kind of restart. And I'm like, man, this too just doesn't make sense. But I was thinking, business, there's so many things you can do with it, but I still didn't know. I even had people always ask, like, me and my buddies who are business majors, like, so you guys are all business majors, like, what are you going to do with that? They would ask us, like, at BYU Idaho, and I was just like, dude, I don't know.
No fucking idea.
No clue.
Right.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm just going to do it and then see, like, if I can get promoted in my current job, where I was a customer service agent and loan officer for a credit union out in America.
Yeah.
I was there for 3 years.
Well, so let's talk. So, college.
Yeah.
In my opinion, unless you're going to be a doctor and unless you're going to be an engineer or something that actually requires, that degree, college is the biggest scam / waste of money that there is in our entire, country. I talk about this a lot. My parents hate it. You know that. They hate it when I say this. Everyone who I meet, I always say, college is the biggest waste of money and time you will ever do if you want to go into business. If your sole goal is the exact question that you were asking is, how do I make more money? I mean, if you think about it, that is most college students' question when they go into college. How do I make more money? How do I make the most money? What career do I want to go into? They're trying to figure it out, and then they start giving you all these career charts and shit. You will not learn how to make money in college. College does not teach you how to make money. It teaches you how to be an employee. It teaches you how to do a couple things. There's nothing about college that teaches anyone how to make money. It gives you, quote unquote, a preparation to make more money, right? But anything business related, if you want to go into business, you want to make more money, you just want to provide a good living for your family, you want to learn how to do that, college is the worst answer. Yeah. It is the worst answer. You would be better off being an apprentice somewhere. You would be better off learning things on your own, starting businesses and failing them, just going back and forth, gaining experience. You'd be better off doing that than you would wasting your time and money in college. Because what's the average tuition at college right now per year?
I don't know, probably like $40K.
$40,000 a year. A year. And that means they're going 4 years. That's what? That's $160,000. Can you imagine what kind of damage you could do if you gave yourself $160,000 leeway to play around in businesses? Okay, if you're willing to take out $160,000 loans, or you're going to go work, because how many college students work 2 jobs just to pay their tuition, just hustling their ass off so they don't have to take out, student loans? What if you applied that exact same thing to a business? What if you applied that exact same thing to mentorships? How much different would your life be?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how much different has your life been since you honestly are out of college and doing what we're doing?
I can say that I've learned so much more just, seeking mentors and just going through different programs that I wanted to purchase myself, whatever it may be, reading the books that I want to read, not the books that the school wants me to read. And I've learned way more doing that, and I've learned a lot faster as well.
Why do you think you've learned faster?
Just because you're learning stuff that you actually want to learn. Here's the thing about college. My first 2 years or so at BYU Idaho, half my classes, were pre-med, but the other half was like humanities and I don't know, dinosaurs.
Total
something
bullshit.
Stupid like that.
Right.
No, legit like dinosaurs. I'm like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to spend $600 on this class, three credit class, $200. Per credit, like that sucks.
Yeah,
like it's dumb when you think about it that way. The return, the unemotional math of college just doesn't make sense for some people.
Yeah, it takes a lot. You're sitting in these classes for hours, and then outside of the class, the quizzes, the studying that they make you do, the reading, and it's just monotonous bullshit work that they make you do for no fucking reason, just so you can prove that you're going to do your assignments and so you can pass. That doesn't fucking mean shit.
Yeah. Because there's a couple things with that too. Like once you get into the real world, when you're done with college and you go and you're trying to find a job, I mean, they're just going to train you for that job however they want to train you. I mean, they could train anybody, even if you've been to college or not, if you just have like a basic degree and whatever. Also, I was seeing this video. I think it was a Gary Vee video, and this kid was asking him, like, "Hey, should I go to college?" And Gary Vee's like, "Well, is it paid for?" And he's like, "Yeah, my mom's just going to pay for it." And he's like, "All right, well then, take the 4-year vacation." Because all you're gonna do, and his mom was there too, and he said all your son's gonna do is just sit in his dorm room and play Xbox all day. I mean, he's gonna come in at this point here, and when he's done, he'll be right back at the same point where you have to just start, searching for jobs. Like, why not go out and start getting work experience now and doing whatever you want to do? And especially if you don't know what you're doing, they'll say like, "Oh, you're college, you're 3 years in, but you just still don't know what you want to do." Like, that's okay. You have time to figure it out. I'm like, well, you just spent all this time and money trying to figure it out. Like, you only have one life, people on this earth. Like, why are you just wasting your time and money, playing around with different things when it's just like you could go and sit down for a little bit and just hold off on that. There's no rush for you to go into college.
Well, right? here's the thing, right? How many students do you think, percentage-wise, are going through their day-to-day and their thought process is, how do I pass this class, not how do I learn this?
Yeah.
It is all about pass or fail. It's all about your grade. It is not about what you actually know. Like in so I was playing football at BYU, right? I'm there, I'm studying, and I'm hating every minute of it. And I see that my grades are going down. I hate it. I'm like, what the fuck, And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these guys who are on my team. And I'm not going to name names, but they were dumb. They were dumb. Like they're one of those guys who you're like, oh my gosh. And they had better grades than I did.
Yeah.
And I could not believe it. I was sitting there and I even asked them, like, dude, what are you doing? And they're like, dude, I just Google this, and if you use this, website, it helps you pass the quizzes, Quizlet, I don't even know what it is. And then I would have other people help me do it, and then they would actually have someone else do their assignments for them. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you have better grades than me. You're probably gonna get your degree faster than me or whatever. You're on track. You're really not doing shit to learn anything. You're just trying to pass. And they're figuring out ways around that. How many people in school, like, I know that was my entire life in school, was how do I pass? How do I just do enough so I just pass and just get this over with? It wasn't how do I learn this, because there's nothing about school that promotes how do I learn this? Yeah. How do I absorb this? How do I, learn this for the rest of my life? It's how do I pass? Well, I don't know if that was you, but for me, and for the majority of people who I saw, maybe it was just a bunch of dumb football players or whatever, but like, that's how it was. It's how do you pass, not how do I learn. And in the real world, it's not about how you pass. It's you either learn or you die. You're going to fail. You're not going to make money unless you know what the fuck you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, money is value. And if you don't provide a whole lot of value, you're not going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And your degree has less and less value. In my opinion, has zero value. And in the eyes of Elon Musk just came out and said that they won't hire MBAs. Warren Buffett hates MBAs, Masters in Business Administrations. They hate these people, these students coming in, because they think they know everything.
Yeah.
And they really just say, no, you don't know anything, actually. Like they just go. It's just this promotion of passing, and then you know how it is, right? Like not like that's just the side of the financial side. On the other side in college, it's liberal as shit.
Yeah. It's
an indoctrination camp. You are paying to be indoctrinated with some of the most crazy liberal philosophies I have ever seen. Like left wing, you're at BYU Idaho. That's probably one of the most right wing, conservative, not to get political, but that really is one of the most right wing places you'll ever go.
Up there in Idaho, I didn't really see a lot of that, fortunately. It was just pretty, they kind of stuck to the curriculum.
Right.
So it wasn't, you didn't really get swayed one way or the other.
Yeah.
Which was nice. But no, again, I think that if you already know what you want to do and you're like, college is, I have to go to college to either do this or I want to because I understand fully what I'm getting into, sure, go ahead. But I think for those who are still on the fence of things, slow down, take some time and really see what it is that you want before you just dive, head first into something like that, because it's a big investment. And if you just look at just again, like the unemotional math of it.
Yeah.
The return on your investment of college for certain degrees, it just doesn't make sense. When you can go and learn that skill or trade elsewhere for a lot cheaper, if not for free.
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's the best university that there is. Seriously.
Yeah.
You go find me a class that you can't find on YouTube. And I'm talking business. You're not going to find a class that's really going to help you that much in how to, perform open heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
But go find me a business class that you can't find on YouTube for free. They're all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that shit's free, right? You just have to be self disciplined enough to go do it. Anyway, so let's get back to you and when you go to work at Mountain America as a loan officer, right? Because I think we both agree we hate college.
Yeah.
Total waste of time, right?
Yeah. Depending on who you are and what your goals are.
Yeah. Well, so one thing about that, about like the Mountain America thing that's so interesting to me is when you got the job Mountain America, that was a high-paying job, quote unquote, for you and all these college people. Like you made a lot of money, and like for what everyone thought was a lot of money up in BYU, Idaho.
Yeah.
Right.
So BYU, Idaho. For those who don't know, it's in a town called Rexburg. Pretty small town. Not like a ton of jobs there. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more opportunity for the kids who actually grew up there. A lot of them just work for their parents or do something like that, and they can make decent money doing that. But of course, they work for their parents.
Right.
But the college kids who would come in, from different states, you're kind of stuck with, all right, am I going to work at Taco Bell or Walmart? Really, or on campus. For $8 an hour.
Yeah.
And that's what they paid you on campus. Mm-hmm. And usually that's pretty hard to get those jobs on campus because they really only gave those to those who were actually not like American, so the foreigners. So
interesting.
The kids who come in from like Mexico or Africa, they give them those jobs because they can't get jobs at companies like Walmart or Taco Bell. They just can't hire them because there's not legal citizens. So, there's not a lot of jobs out there. So there's a credit union called Mountain America Credit Union. They're based out here in Utah, Sandy, Utah. And they opened a call center up there in Rexburg, and they were just opening up. And my grandma actually is the one that helped me find the job. She banks with them. They're in the branch there in Rexburg, and they were like, "Hey, we're opening a call center here. Like, if you know anybody who wants to apply, here's information." She gave it to me. I went and applied and got the job, and it started me at $11.50 an hour.
Woo, big money.
Yep. Me and about 20, 25 other people got the job, started at the call center there, and I was there for about 3 years. So I started out doing just regular customer service. Just, they give you a month of training, and then you hop on you're on the headset, right? And the calls just come in, they don't stop. They're sitting there for 8 hours a day, just taking calls, transferring people's money around, just doing, really basic stuff. Pretty, you can be pretty brain dead and kind of do that thing. But they paid $11.50 an hour, which is more than what Walmart paid and more than what campus paid. So people are like, whoa, you're getting $11.50 an hour?
An extra $3.
Yeah.
That's $3 bills, people.
Yep.
Extra.
And then a couple months later, I got raised to $12 an hour. And just as time went on, I got promoted to, loan officer. So I started to get commission, and I also got a raise. So I ended it at about $15 an hour before I quit. And being a loan officer there, I was a loan officer for about a year and a half, 2 years. And you would book loans for people. People would call in, hey, I want to get an auto loan, $20,000 auto loan, and they give you 60 cents for booking the, $20,000 auto loan.
Hey, big money.
Yeah.
Big money. Well, so here's something interesting about this, right? Number one, if you make in 1 hour of your life, you make enough to buy lunch, that's a problem. Right?
Yeah.
If 1 hour of your life is what it costs to buy lunch, you're not making enough money. I mean, you could live like a college student, but just in general, getting paid by the hour, people, it was crazy, to think that we actually thought that was a lot of money. $15 an hour, $13 an hour. We were stoked to get $1 an hour extra. Right, it's almost like maybe more of a status thing. Like, oh, you get paid $13 an hour.
No, for
that's
for
chump
real.
change.
Yeah.
I had $15 an hour. Oh, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean at the call center, that was kind of like the energy there. People would get, oh, he got promoted to team lead, or he got this, but really it's like a 50-cent difference in pay. Or they sit down with you after the end of the year and like, all right, we're gonna evaluate your calls and everything, how you did, and see if you deserve a raise. Cool, here's a 5% raise, which 5% of those small numbers really isn't much. It's cents.
Yeah,
cents. I mean, it's very minimal. And I think I said 60 cents on like a $20,000 commission. That was wrong. It starts $12.
Okay,
it's 60 cents per. 60% per thousand that you do on the dollar. So
which is like 60 cents $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. So if I were to book a $1,000 loan, you get like 60 cents.
Nice. Well, what's crazy about that? You were a loan officer. You could approve people for cars and homes a lot easier for someone who made $15 an hour than an entrepreneur who makes $100,000 a year.
Yeah,
I've gone through this over and over and over again. When you're a 1099 or you're a self-employed, banks really are assholes to deal with, and these lenders, there is like, it's easier to get approved when you make hourly wage than it is, no matter how much money you make as self-employed. Like in your experience, loan officers, you see that a lot.
Oh yeah, that really was tough for me. Just telling people like, hey, no, sorry, we can't do this for you, even though they made crazy amounts of money, $400,000, $600,000 a year, self-employed, but they write everything off, and so the bank wouldn't want to give them any loans, and that kind of sucked. But then the kid who comes in who makes $13 an hour wants to get a $25,000 car loan on a car that's only worth $18,000. Sure, why not? Let's give it to him. Let's just screw him financially. And then, so when he tries to get out of that car a year or two from now, he's super upside down and can't get out of it, and he's got to, cough up the rest there in negative equity. So that was tough for me. Yeah. I was just like, I hate doing that. Just, I felt that, I couldn't be as, real with, the customers and actually help them out the way that they should be helped. I was just kind of stuck to the script a little bit.
Do you feel like there's a bias with these loan officers, or like at Mount America, like where there's like a bias, like almost like they wouldn't give people loans just because they didn't like them or anything like that? Is that a thing at all?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think I've had one time where I felt like that, where there was a guy who was a CPA and he earned well over six figures. But him being a CPA, he wrote off a lot of stuff for himself, right? And he wanted to get a pretty expensive boat. And I guess, I don't know, it kind of seemed that one of my managers was a little, jealous, and actually told me to tell him. He's like, no, tell him to screw off. Like, I was like, really? Like, that's pretty crazy. Just because the guy was kind of, he's wanting the loan and everything. He's like, no, we don't want to mess with him. I was like, you guys really catered towards it seemed like they really catered towards the people, though, who were racking up those overdraft fees.
Right, well, that's where they make a ton
of money. Is these overdraft fees? They'll pay you they charge something like $25 a day that your account's in negative. If you do a transaction, another $25. I mean, people were just. I saw more negative accounts than I ever seen. Accounts that actually had money in them. That's
crazy. You saw more negative accounts than you saw accounts with money in them.
You ask like anybody who works at that call center, they'll ask like, what's the most like common call you'll get? Oh, it's to do the overdraft transfer because they let me take my account negative $750 for a $25 fee, and I can like transfer that $750 to my savings, whatever. But I'm like, I don't think that's really teaching the best habits, financially. Just for someone, because people would call in every week to do that. Hey, I need to take another $750 out. I'll take my account negative. I won't get paid. It'll go back up, but then I take it negative again. They're always just stuck. Like, not even at zero, they're just stuck in the negative. Jeez. And it's just crazy. I was just like, man, these people are never going to get ahead if we just keep teaching them that this is okay.
I think there's a percentage out that says over half of all American households only have $500 or less in the bank.
Yeah.
$500. Could you imagine living with only $500 or less year after year? You have kids, you have a mortgage, and you only have $500 in your account.
Yeah,
that would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, paycheck to paycheck life is you're on thin edge, or on thin ice. I mean, like you lose that income stream that you have, like that one that's just really just sustaining you. I mean, that's it. You're in poverty. You're one step away from poverty.
And that's rampant. That's not just like a couple people. That's over half of all Americans live like that.
Yeah, and also just seeing what happened with the whole COVID thing and the whole pandemic. All these people losing their jobs for almost no reason.
See, that's the thing that gets me is when they say you're self-employed, they almost consider you more of a risk, right? When you own your own business, you're more of a risk to give a loan out to than someone who has a job. So they always call job security, right? They talk about, when you have a job, you have job security. No, you don't have job security. You have one source of income, and if your boss fucks up, or if your company goes under, or you just don't perform, or something, or you get caught, looking at something you shouldn't be looking at on the company computer, your ass is out of there, and you lost your one, source of income.
Yeah.
Right. So what job security is a false idea. It's a fallacy. It's not real.
Yeah.
There's no job security with a W-2 employee. You can lose that job just as fast, if not faster, than someone could lose their business.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, like someone
I've seen it happen in my life multiple times. My dad, when he worked for that cable company, he got laid off because they got bought out by some company in India for IT.
Outsourcing to India.
Yeah, they outsourced to India. And
geez.
He got laid off, and I was like, well, now what? Then he had to go back to the military.
Jeez.
Which military takes care of you and everything, of course.
Military, yeah, absolutely.
But it's not, ideal for someone who's getting older because you do have to, keep up with all the physical requirements and stuff like that. But it's true. Like people think that you're just super secure in your W-2 when something like this could happen. A pandemic can happen and you just lose your job just like that. And then you're stuck.
But you think about a self-employed person. This is why it's so skewed. It's so messed up. If you're self-employed, it means you're making money on your own.
Yeah.
Right. It means you're finding a way to make your money. When your W-2 job means you're reliant on somebody else. So who's more likely to have job security? The person who can create their own income as a business owner, as self-employed, or the person who is reliant on somebody else?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that being self-employed, you're your own boss. You're not going to fire yourself.
No,
hopefully, unless you're in some, you have some stuff going on. But most of the time, you're not going to sit here. You're not going to fire yourself. You're going to find a way to get it done.
Yes.
There's a little bit more risk involved in the beginning, but once you kind of get a hang of it and everything, it's actually a lot less risky than people think.
Yeah.
There's that book, I think Robert Kiyosaki wrote it, The Cash Flow Quadrant. It talked about the benefits, pros and cons of being W-2 and also, pros and cons of
Everyone
being
listening to this
self-employed.
podcast should go read that book right now. Go ahead.
But, the one thing about being W-2, and, I was W-2 for a while, and, I lived that lifestyle, and I did relatively fine for where I was. And I think that, I would never, bash on anybody, particularly for working a 9-to-5 job. But, there are pros and cons to it. Cons are you're there. You're 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever it is. You don't have the freedom of it's a Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'm going to go do this or that. You're at your job. I'll hit my buddies up. Hey, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm just working. I'm working. I'm like, dang, man. I'm out here just, I can choose when I want to work, choose when I don't want to work, that kind of thing. So, when you're there. Also, another con of it is that you don't have the ability to leverage as much as you would being self-employed or being a business owner. You're not leveraging other people's money. You're not leveraging other people's time, right? You're the one being leveraged right now. You're the employee.
Yes.
Someone else is using you to make them money.
Yes.
You're not using other things or other people to use money, to make money. So, there's a con there. But, again, there's some pros with, being W-2. Some people just are, geared towards that. They want to work for someone else, and they just want to sit there and just kind of do the bare minimum and kind of get by. And if they lose a job, they'll get another one. But they don't really have, these goals and dreams to do anything bigger. And if that's what they want to do with their life, that's fine. That's up to them. But if you are in that situation, you do want to change your life, and you're like, how do I get out of this? I'm stuck in this rat race. How do I get out? And you do want to change your life. Well, then, you got to think to yourself, what does your 6 to 10 look like? Are you coming home and just watching Netflix after your 9 to 5, or are you going to go home and start working on a side hustle? Because you can still work your 9 to 5 and work on other things, and that's what I was doing. I was coming home and I was working on different things. I was learning different systems and programs just to like better my skills. Listening to certain people, reading certain books, podcasts, things like that, to get out of that. Because I told myself, like, I don't like this job. I don't like the environment. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like the time I spend here. I feel like I live here. Versus I was there at my job more than I was at my own house. Legit. I'm like, I don't like this, so I'm going to change it. So when I got home, instead of just playing Xbox all day, I always went and just learned something else until what I was doing on the side ended up replacing the income from my 9 to 5, and then I could go ahead and just leave that and be just where I was. Right? I'm not taking a hit. So I'm not saying go quit your 9 to 5 right now, or you're an idiot if you're working 9 to 5. But I'm saying you should be developing other skill sets on the side and don't just rely on one source of income.
Well, here's the thing is, most people listening to this podcast are people who are entrepreneurs who want to be entrepreneurs who are sick of that 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
And if you're satisfied with your job, that's fine. But we're talking to the people who want to get out, who want that freedom, who want what you have, who want what I have, who see it out there, see that it's possible, and they want that. And what you're saying is right on point. If you're not doing everything you can to get out, then you will always be stuck. But to me, the problem is once you get a 9 to 5, you kind of become stuck, right? You kind of become stuck right there, right then. And again, if you want to work a job, work a job. If you don't want to work a job and be an employee for the rest of your life, well, then you really need to take in consideration how stuck you are to that job. Because if you want to quote unquote escape the rat race, get out, you have to be doing everything you can to build something up, a business or something, or a side hustle, or your skill sets that can get you out. It's an escape that everyone's looking for, right? It's escape. I mean, you look for it. And to touch on something, actually, when you came and started working with Alpha, you were still working at Mountain America. And, a credit to you, and what I always say is that you're one of the hardest working people I've ever met. But more importantly than that, more important than just your work ethic. Because work ethic, a lot of people have work ethic. You have a really good work ethic at your job, right?
Yeah.
There's work ethic, and then there's the ability to make something happen, the ability to go and figure something out, resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is a skill set. Your ability to be resourceful, figure shit out, that's one of the things you are best at. And it's blown me away at how fast you figure things out. And it almost makes me think I can just throw whatever I want. Like, here, Jacob, figure this out. And you can, because you're so good at that. But that's a skill set you've developed on your own. You figure things out, and you made it happen, right? Because when you first came to work for Alpha, you were still working at Mountain America, right?
Yeah.
So... But then how drastically has your life changed since then?
Oh, I mean, it was pretty quick. Pretty fast. I mean, like, I was, time frame, moved here to Utah, and I was working. I had to switch to remote work, and it just started to suck even more. Just because I'm at home and I'm just doing all this stuff all day, and I'm like, this just stinks,
Dude, I remember you. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. I remember you saying how you were like on the phone, like at Mount America at the house. I'm like you still work there?
Yeah. I'd maybe come upstairs for my 15-minute break and go back downstairs.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I was doing that for a little bit, and then you approached me with the Alpha Influence idea and layout of it, and I was like, awesome. Like, yeah, I'm in. I'll start working on this. And really, after just 1 month of doing that, and maybe not even, I was just like, I'm done with my job. I just quit, and it was the best feeling ever. That was one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life. I didn't have any regrets. I remember my manager getting on a call with me, asking like, what can we do to have you stay and stuff like that. You've been with us for 3 years and you're at this position. And I'm like, you know what, like, nothing. It's not even like certain people at the job. It's just the freedom. I feel like I'm giving up too much of my time and freedom, doing this when I could be doing something else. But I see that too when you say like, work ethic. You can have really good work ethic at your own job. I know tons of people who I used to work with at the credit union who had amazing work ethic. They put so much time and effort into that job. And I was thinking, man, you could be really good if you were to do this, like for yourself or try this out, because you're just really just putting all this time and energy into, someone else's bank account, not your own.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want, whatever you use to, read value in your life.
So when you first made the jump from working to Alpha, I know the feeling, and a lot of people else know the feeling. It's exciting, but it's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Right? When you get your manager calling you saying, hey, we want you to stay. You've been here for long. There's potential for you to stay and really, go up the ladder. And, there's a lot. What can we do to get you to stay? And you're hearing this. You're hearing the idea of, yeah, I have job security here. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. If I stick with it, I do good, I'll get promoted one day, right? They're saying these things to you, and yet you still had the balls to say, no, fuck you, I'm going to bet on myself and make this shit happen.
Yeah.
That right there is the number one factor of why a lot of people have really good ideas, and they will also die with those ideas because they never have the balls to act on them. Like the balls it took for you to not only, stop school, because you're basically almost done with school, right?
Oh yeah.
You haven't even finished.
I have 2 semesters left, and I could have a business finance degree with a minor in economics right now, and I just stopped that too because I didn't see the value in it, and I was like, it's taking up too much time. I was thinking, now that I'm really getting the ball rolling with my business and everything and what I'm doing, I could take that time and go back to school, but doing that, I would lose out on money from my business and what I'm doing. So it's just why would I put more time and effort to that when I would just lose, and then I would get my degree and probably never even use it. So it's why would I do that?
Dude, let me ask you honestly, okay? Because when I sit down with you, we were drawing things out, and I was having some success before you came. I was doing pretty well before you came, because I was doing the real estate stuff and all that, right? But when you left Mountain America and you stopped going to school and you came to do this, it was in the heat of the coronavirus thing, right? So you quit a job that was letting you work from home, that was quote unquote what a lot of people would say is a good job that pays well, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people probably said you're an idiot for doing that. Am I wrong?
Oh,
tons. They're probably still saying you're an idiot, even though your lifestyle now. They're probably, but the thing is you left that to come work for Alpha when we were on lawn chairs bro, in the living room of my house.
Yeah.
How many people do you think would actually fucking do that? Go quit a job and stop going to school at a degree you're basically done at, right? To go work for a place that we're still in fucking lawn chairs, and we have the little table thing that we were using to put our laptops on, and the little whiteboard, and that was the business.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, honestly, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Really?
I was pretty sold. I will tell you that. I was already pretty sold on the idea of Alpha Influence and what it could be, and how fast we were going to grow. Just because the first meeting, you told me, hey, come to my house and we'll have a meeting. It was me, you, 2 other guys, lawn chairs in an empty room with a whiteboard. And you trained us, and I remember this so distinctly, you trained us on how being average is the most selfish thing you could do in your entire life. After that, I was done. I was sold. That training changed my life, 100%. So after that, I was yeah, working this average job, living this average life is not for me. So I was if I'm going to change the life of my family, change the life of other people, I have to do something different in my own life first. Because right now, I'm not making any impact on the world at all. So what am I doing?
So tell everybody, tell me, how much has your life changed since then? Since you had the balls to make that move, to bet on yourself and make shit happen, to leave that job and to go do this, how much different is your life? How much more money are you making? What's the difference that you see now?
Yeah. Obviously, Making more money is just the result that comes with it.
Well, give us details. Come on, give us details.
Well, I mean, I was
the
making...
people want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, Mountain America, my W-2, what I get at the end of the year, showed $20,000 a year. Right? Yeah. So, and now, I have tax returns that show well over 6 figures. I have, bank statements that, are showing 10 or 5 figures a month consistently, never been below that. I mean, so obviously the money's there, but really it's just also changed my life and just the way I view life, and just I can see that there's more to life than just working and sleeping, working, sleeping, working, sleeping. That you can do a lot more when you do have the resources to go out and live your life. Also been able to treat my family back home to things that they've never seen. My mom she moved to the United States when she was like 22 from Jamaica. And she lived in Jamaica her whole life. Like, she's never seen anything like luxury. So just taking them out to nice dinners and things like that, just to something small like that, it's just also just nice to be able to do it with my family. So just having the money and the resources to do that, working with Alpha Influence has just changed my life. Did a complete 180. Well,
think about what you just said. Like gives me goosebumps, bro. Like that. Like I keep forgetting about this stuff. You know, we get so caught up in everything that we're doing every single day. I forget how fast, what we had to go through, and what the whole situation and where we're at now. It's nuts to me to think about, right? But talking about what you were just saying, the idea of the most selfish thing you'll ever do is to settle and be average.
Yep.
That is the most selfish bullshit thing you will ever do. And here's why. You are a perfect example of why. And let's just lay this out. Your mom comes from Jamaica. That means her whole family was and is in Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
They have never seen wealth in that family until now. Ed Milet talks about this. Ed Milet says, be the one. There's always that one person in every family line, every generation, that comes along and makes the difference. There's that one person who comes along and makes the change and says enough is enough, and they change the course of history for their entire generational tree for the rest of their lives. They're the one who creates all the wealth that not only changes the lifestyle for them, their parents, and their kids, but for their grandkids, and it changes everything, the entire course history. Because look at the line, exactly what you described. Your mom came here from Jamaica. They still, even here in the United States, they've worked their asses off, great people to provide, and now you come along, and you are the one. Think about, you are the one in your family, in that entire generational line, that is breaking the chains of poverty, that is breaking the chains of not knowing what the fuck to do, or how to manage money, or just how to grow and how to be wealthy, how to have that freedom, or what that kind of freedom is even like. You're the one who brings that to your family, and it will stay with your family for your kids, because you're going to educate your kids, and your kids are going to educate your grandkids.
Yeah.
And from here on out, you have changed your life and everyone else's life from here on out. Every life you touch, every life you inspire, because of your decision to not be average, because of your decision to take a risk, quit that 9-to-5, go stop going to bullshit, BYU, Idaho College, right? To quit all that, and now where you're at today and where you're going, you're the one. And your decision to settle and be average, if you hadn't have done this, is the most selfish thing you could have ever done. But you didn't do that, and instead you took the risk. You said, I don't care what it takes to make it happen. And honestly, I remember, because you're married to my sister, I know she wasn't exactly hoorah about it, because she was a little scared too, right?
Yeah.
I bet your parents weren't thrilled either.
Oh, no. My mom told me that the only thing she'd even want from me, even if I was worth $1 billion, was for me to finish college.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You could buy college at that point.
Yeah, right? I asked her, I was straight up, I was like, Mom, even if I had all the money in the world and I was doing all these crazy, great things, she's like, I just want you to finish college. I was like, that's not what I want to do. So, sorry.
You're the one. You're the one. You're going to be, is it safe to say you're going to be the first millionaire in your family?
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any other.
I was about to say, from your mom's side, I don't know too much about your
there are
dad's
millionaires
side.
in Jamaica, but that's different.
That's different
because the currency and the hyperinflation.
You can have a $100 zillion thing from Zimbabwe doesn't make you a millionaire, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone's a millionaire.
Just because 13 pesos is $1 doesn't mean
Yeah,
right.
But coming here, like that million actually equated to maybe like $10,000 or so.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's the inflation in these countries is pretty sad.
Yeah.
So but I mean,
you're the one.
That's my goal right there. So,
dude, but you're already on your way. He's being real modest about what he's accomplished. He is a driving force for why we were at. You're a driving force for why we are here today. We're gonna do. I won't be surprised if we do 25 million by the end of this year in 2021.
We should.
And you know what, Jacob? Straight up, it wouldn't be that way without you, bro. Without your ability to be resourceful, your risk that you put your neck on the line for, what you've done and the work you put in, we wouldn't be here without you, right? And that's a testament not only to your skill set, but to who you are as a badass motherfucker who made the change. And this gave me chills because I didn't even realize until you were just talking about, I'm like, you are the one in your family. Like, you straight up are the one who went out and made it happen and is going to change a life. So now your kids, grandkids, and anyone else who you inspire, you change their lives. And you change your own, right? I mean, where are we going to be 5 years from now? You're sitting here driving a BMW i8, Rolex on your wrist, tons of investments, passive income streams coming in. You are where a lot of people wish they could be in their 50s and 60s. And you're 24, right? You're 24?
24.
It's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Right? It's not supposed to be that way. But by average people's standards, not supposed to be that way. But you're not average because you chose not to be average. Dude, I fucking love that. That gives me chills, dude. I didn't even thought about that.
I think, honestly, some of the best trainings that you've ever given and the ones that really stick in my head were the ones when we were on lawn chairs. Like starting out. I'm serious though, because those are when we were all like, we have to make this work, or we don't put food on the table, kind of thing. So I think just the things that we've talked about back in the day, and really when we really started, growing this fast, were some of those powerful things that you've said in your trainings. So those things have really stuck with me ever since you trained on those. Dude, that makes
me so happy to hear, bro. Like we started on lawn chairs, and almost a year later, I mean, we started before that, but really when we really launched, because of Corona, lawn chairs, but now we have a team of over 100 people, 120 something people, millions of dollars in sales, and the whole team's winning.
Yeah.
You're winning, guys on the sales, everyone's winning. Like, everyone's like we have a guy on our team who is debating on whether to buy the C8 Corvette or the brand new, or the Ford Raptor Shelby, which we're not going to talk about which one he bought.
But it's true though. I think that I had a guy who DM'd me, and he was just like kind of upset that I wouldn't say upset, but he just said, "Hey, bro, like, not gonna lie, him buying a Lamborghini is such a huge waste of money." And I was just like, that pissed me off. It pissed me off. I was just like, one, like, who are you to say anything? Like, this dude has changed so many lives for the people, in his direct family, people on his team. He's brought so many people on who went from, I'm not the only one here who went from making $20K a year to over six figures. I could count at least 10 people off the top of my head right now, 10 people, if not more, who've made six figures without influence, who went from making, nothing the year before. So I was just saying, like, dude, and also just the donations that you've done to, OUR and just things like that, and like the impact you've made, on your social media, and just training people and teaching people a whole different mindset on life. It pissed me off. I was like, dude, you have no freaking idea. So I just went off on him. Usually I don't when the haters are in the DMs, but I could not sit back and just like that was it. It was like my breaking point. I was just like,
you're just always so level-headed. It's crazy to see you actually get a little flustered there. I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Well, I was just saying, I was just like, from where we've come and just with the impact you've made on other people's lives, it's a pretty crazy thing, because that's where it really matters. It's really nice, to have a Rolex, have a cool car, have a nice house, whatever it is. It's nice. I'm not gonna lie, I love that stuff. But I also think that even like those simple texts that you get from people or clients, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, like this is working, like, oh my gosh, like my life has changed completely. That's what you really strive for, and that's really what you get like your gratification from when you do something like this. It's not always about money, even though money is definitely the tool that needed to do this kind of thing. And I don't think money is evil. It depends on it's what the person does with it. You can have a rich person does a lot of evil stuff with money. You can have a rich person does a lot of good stuff with it too.
Well, I heard something that it was a few years ago when I heard this, and I've heard it a few times since. They said the fastest way to make $1 million is to be someone worthy of making $1 million. A lot of people have it backwards. They see the car, they see the Rolex, they see the house, they see, all the exterior stuff, right? Which is what we promote, because that is what people see. That's what draws attention. That's what's a good marketing strategy, right? Creating that FOMO and what making people actually want to be like, what is this? Because no one's going to DM you wanting to, be a part of it in a Toyota Camry, right?
Yeah.
There's just not. And that's why I bought the Lamborghini, because it's one of the best marketing tools I'll ever own, right? But a lot of people see that stuff and they think, okay, in order for me to be that person, I got to get that stuff, right? But it is completely opposite. You have to become that person first in order to be worthy of that life and that stuff. It's this paradox that we see this stuff that we want to have, and we think, okay, once I get that, then I'll be that guy. No, you have to be the guy first. You have to become that person in order to be worthy of that. As a millionaire, as someone making six figures, you have to have the ability to help other people. Money is value, right? Money flows to who provides the most value. Your ability to provide value is next to none, right? And that's why you get paid so much. That's why you make so much money, right? Is because you provide that kind of value in people's lives. That's how money works. Money flows to people who provide value. And if you want to make a lot of money, then the fastest way to do that is provide a lot of value. How do you provide a lot of value? You have to become that person, develop those skill sets, and be that man in order to make that kind of impact. Hence the name of this entire company, Alpha Influence, because it's about the kind of influence you bring into this world that will bring you the most money. And that is what you live by that. The team lives by that, but that's what we're about here. And that's why when people DM us about the Lambos, that's why you get hit, because I get heated too. It's like you have no fucking idea what we had to go through to get where we're at today. The risks that we had to take. You don't even have the balls to comprehend what it took to be here and what it took for you to be here.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I agree. And with that too, I was just thinking there's so many ways you can, talk about that. It's looking at ratios, and one person who even said this is good old pal Dave Ramsey. Jay-Z spent $40K or something like that at a bar at one night. People were getting mad about it, and Dave Ramsey had his back, saying Jay-Z spending $40K is like you spending $4.
Yes, true.
So
true.
It's all about ratios. I mean, you gotta pay yourself at some point. It's your life. You gotta enjoy it. So I think, having a Lambo, and not even talking about the write-offs and the marketing and all the benefits of that. Right. I'm not even talking about that. Yeah. Just having something like that. I mean, just to enjoy
yourself. Or the emotional feeling of I accomplished what I've set out to accomplish.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's just like when people say like, "Oh, he bought crazy multi-six-figure car or whatever." Like, yeah, but for him buying that, it's like the same as you buying a $20,000 Honda Civic at your income and your net worth. So it's like, you gotta look at ratios. If that were the case, then you should be driving the car you're driving.
Look at that math coming from college. Yep. Well, cool. Well, Jacob, thanks for coming on, brother. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and everything you've done. And if any of you want to learn more from this man, follow him on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's JACOBKUALII, Jacob Kualii.
We'll put it in there because that's we'll put it in there.
Yeah, it's Hawaiian.
But that's right. But if you guys want to follow him and learn from him, he's an incredible strategist, and not just when it comes to getting shit done. I mean, I can't tell you how many things he is good at. It's almost stupid. Like, it bugs me that he's so good at so many things, but he's such an asset to be on the team, and I'm so grateful he's here, and I'm grateful you married my sister, bro. Straight up, But thank you so much for listening, everybody. Tune in next time.